Hello and welcome back to another episode of Math with Dr. War. Today I'm going to focus on geometry where I'm going to be finding the volume and we're going to be looking at those solid shapes of a cylinder and cones. I find that these shapes, which have a circular base, give a lot of problems to students at times. So let's begin. So our first problem, we have a flower vase is in the shape of a cylinder. So always remember when it comes to geometry and finding volume, they will tell you the shape. So it's a flower vase that's in the shape of a cylinder and it has a diameter of 5 inches and a height of 7 inches. Now in this problem, they don't want us to solve. Notice they said which equation could be used to determine the volume in cubic inches of the vase. Now, when you're on the TASC test and you see these words like cylinder and volume, the first thing I need you to do is to go to your formula page if you have not memorized the formulas. So they're going to give you the formula page, or what they call the reference sheet, and you need that. It's very important. So this is a snapshot of what I'm calling the formula page. It's called the mathematics reference sheet. And notice right here, this is the formula for finding the volume of a cylinder. And this is what we need. V equals pi r squared times height. They're going to give you the volume for cylinder, pyramid, cone, sphere, and they're also going to give you a key to what all of these variables represents. So let's write our formula for the cylinder. So it says V equals pi r squared times height. Now when I look at my answer choices, notice pi remains a symbol. They did not change it to a numerical value. So we're going to keep pi as is. Now we need radius. Now when you go to the problem, they did not give us radius. Radius begins with an R. Notice they said diameter of 5 inches. So the diameter is the line that cuts your circle in half. So if you have a circle going from end to end, that's what that 5 inches mean. That is your diameter. The radius, on the other hand, starts from the center and goes all the way to the outskirts of the circle. So it's basically half. So if we want to find the radius, you're going to have to take your diameter and divide it by 2. So it's like, what's half of $5? Half of $5 is $2.50. So your radius is going to be 2.5 to the second power, and they gave us the height. The height is 7. So we're looking for the equation that is pi 2.5 to the second power times 7. Okay, let's go pi. Okay, here notice there r squared is a 5. Incorrect. Here there r, because that's what's in the middle here, is 7. And remember, 7 represents your height, not your radius. And they have it here again. However, your answer is D. 2.5 squared, that is your radius, and that is your height. So sometimes they don't always want you to actually solve. Sometimes they want you to choose the correct equation. Remember, this test is multiple choice and it's timed. Okay, let's look at a second problem. It says a company makes 2 different size ice cream cones. So the shape we're working with is a cone. The smaller cones are 3.5 inches tall, which means that's the height, and have a diameter of 3 inches. The larger cones are 5.1 inches tall and have a diameter of 4.5 inches. About how much greater to the nearest tenth of a cubic inch is the volume of the larger cone than the volume of the smaller cone? So here we're going to have to find the volume of 2 cones. Again, remember, if you go to your formula page, Here is the cone, and here is your formula. V equals 1/3 pi r squared times your height. So we have V equals 1/3 pi r squared times your height. Let's start with the smaller cone. So we have 1/3. You can leave pi as is because with this question, we're going to need to use the calculator. Let's find the radius. Now, they did not give us the radius. They told us that the diameter is 3 inches. So we know what we have to do here. We have to take that 3 and divide it by 2. So that would be 1.5 for our radius. So that would be 1.5 squared. And they said that the height is 3.5. And we're going to put all of that in our calculator. So let's get our calculator. We need a fraction. So I'm going to go 1 n over d. Notice that the cursor is in the denominator. So I'm going to put the 3. I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to multiply. I'm going to use the symbol pi times. Notice I'm putting this in my calculator just as I see it right here. 1.5 close to the square, and then I'm going to multiply and open my parentheses, 3.5. So if you put it in just like how you have it, there's no error in your calculation. I'm going to hit enter, and notice I get a value, and I'm just going to round this to the nearest hundredth because they want their answer to the nearest tenth. So this is 8.25. So this is 8.25. So this is for the smaller volume of a cone. Let's go for the large one. So again, you have V equals 1/3 pi r squared times height. You have your third. I'm going to keep pi as the symbol. Now again, here with the larger cone, the diameter is 4.5. So I'm going to have to take 4.5 and divide it by 2. Let's get our calculator again. 4.5 divide by 2. Notice I did not clear my screen. The TASC calculator has enough real estate that you can leave your calculations. I leave them so that on the test you don't waste time. You don't have to input them again. You go up and down, scroll up and down like a computer to see what you have inputted into the calculator. Okay, that's 2.25. So that will be 2.25 to the second power, and it's 5.1 inches tall. Let's put that into our calculator. Let's move my calculator over here. So again, 1 n over d, 3, go to the right, multiply by pi, multiply 2.25, close, raise to the second power, times, open, 5.1. Enter. And notice we get 27, and we're going to round this. So this is going to be 27.04. 27.04. They ask about how much greater to the nearest tenth of a cubic inch is the volume of the larger cone than the volume of the smaller cone. Now, because of that word than and how much greater, that's telling us to subtract. So we're going to take 27.04 and subtract 8.25. Let's get our calculator. This is a lot of calculations, so you're going to need your calculator. We get a value of 18.79. And you don't even have to round. Just go look at your answers. Which one is closest? So your answer is A. I hope this was helpful. And again, if you like the content, like, subscribe, share, and good luck on that TASC examination.